especially since we had some people who were not here. So if I were to graph y equals 1/2 x plus 1, who wants to walk me through this one? No one wants. Go ahead, RJ. Okay. Oh, I gotta actually have my line on. Up one. Up one over to up one. I ran out. What about the other side of the graph? And why do I want to have as many points on the graph for this lesson? Yeah, yeah, more data points to actually find it. It makes it more accurate. Oop, I'm trying because I don't have a line tool. Okay, and now how do you graph x equals 4? Is that a vertical or horizontal line? Yep. So you go, this is the only time you start on x, right? And then you go straight up and down. Okay. Yes. Very good. So now that I know and I can see where it crosses, what am I going to write right here? Is it a no solution or do I have a point? Yep. 4 comma 3. Yay! Nor, do you want to do this one? So how do I start graphing this one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't do it again. How about to get the other side? Down one, one, two, and down one, one, two. Okay, so those are all those points, right? Hopefully your lines look better than mine. If you need a straight edge, you can use these geometry tool as a straight edge. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to just change the color for the other one. So this one, over two. And what about here? Very good. Okay, and then what do we notice about these two lines? Will they ever intersect? No. So what do we call this? No solution. Now, we knew it would be no solution because what do I notice about the slopes? Yeah, because the slant of the line is the same. I start at different places, but the slant is the same. So parallel lines would mean no solution because they never cross. Okay, so for number 3, I'm going to do number 3, and then if someone wants to volunteer to do this one. For these, you have to solve for y first because this is in standard form. There's always 2 steps for solving for y. Remember, you are going to add or subtract the x value. And then the second step would be to divide by the coefficient of y. So this is step 1. And this is step 2 to convert it to slope-intercept form. I highly recommend with these, if there's no number in front of the x, what number am I going to put in front of the x? 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in front of this, and now I'm going to follow my steps. Add or subtract the x value. Here's 1x. I need it to be the inverse. What's the opposite of a positive 1x? Negative. So I'm going to subtract. Most of the time you subtract on these. It's just the way CUDA software does it. So this is 0. I'm left with 4y equals negative 1x. Now am I going to put plus 16 or minus 16? Plus, because 16 is positive, so you put a plus. Now I need to do what? 4. And it means to divide by 4. So everything gets divided by 4 all the way across. So y equals, now on your writing equations test, some people would get this and then they would put negative 4 here. They wouldn't leave it as a fraction. Yeah, it needs to be left as a fraction plus 4. Because you're dividing into a smaller number, you leave it as a fraction, please. So now I'm going to graph this line, right? So I'm going to go up 4, make my dot, go down 1 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could go up 1 this way 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have my line. Oh, as best as I can make it. Ah, you guys should use straight edges. I just don't have one on here. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one. X minus, but I'm going to change color because sometimes visuals help. So I'm going to change this to blue. So I get x minus y equals 1. There's no number in front, so I'm going to insert ones. I'm going to follow these same steps up here. I need to add or subtract the x value. Since this is positive and you want to make this 0, you're going to subtract. This cancels. I have negative 1y equals negative 1x plus 1. Now I divide by negative 1 all the way across. And I get y equals negative over negative is positive, right? I'm just going to keep that as a fraction so I know my slope. And this will be negative 1. If you drop your negatives, you're going to mess the whole thing up, right? So here we would go negative 1, and then I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. This is what I was looking for, where they cross. That is actually the solution then. So this would be 4, comma 3. Now, over here, who would like to walk me through this one? Well, you already did one. I'm going to pick on someone. Mary. Mary. Can I pick on you? Okay. 5x minus 3y equals 12. So what do I do? That cancels. What do I write right here? Beautiful. All the way across. And so now what do I get? Great job. Why did I change this from negative to positive? Two negatives divided together would make a positive, right? And a positive divided by negative makes that minus. So now we're going to do the other one. Well, we can graph this. Go ahead and tell me how to graph it. I have enough room to do it again. 1, 2, 3. No! I only have those. Okay, so I'm going to draw that line as straight as I can because I don't have a ruler on my computer. Okay, now, boy, you want to try helping me with this one? 2x plus 3y equals 9. So how do I solve for y? All of them. What do I write here then? Y. You're fine. Okay. So now I have y equals negative 2x plus 3. I need to graph that, right? So where am I going to start? Oh, we found it. Really, I don't have to do anymore, right? Because I found where it crossed. So what point is this? Yes, very good. 3 comma 1. Because we go over 3 and up 1. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nicely done, everybody. Okay, so today you should have your notes, right? Yeah. Because it has a line under it. I'm only repeating myself because I had to, I wasn't recording. When it has a line under it, we're going to do solid. What about this one? Is it going to be solid or dotted? Dotted. Okay. I was at a professional development and they told us that we're not supposed to be reading the slides on the screen to you. Do you guys like me reading it out loud or not like me reading it out loud? Like this slide here. Should I have just let you read it and kept my mouth shut, or do you like me reading it out loud to you? Okay, so you want me to read the slides. Okay. I didn't quite, because I think in math you need to see it and hear it, but that's just me. I don't know. Where to shade for positive, negative, and zero slopes? The inequality must be written as y and either less than, greater than, or whatever inequality right here, mx plus b format. So we will always want it written in slope intercept form, okay? Any questions on that part? If the inequality is greater than or equal to, when we shade, when we color, we're not giving shade, we're coloring. We're going to shade above the line. When it's less than or equal to, we're going to shade below the line. Okay, so like right here, graph y is greater than or equal to x minus 2. See here how it said greater than? So greater than means shave above the line, right? The extra line under this means that it needs to be solid. We still graph this equation the same. I'm going to go down to make my dot. Oh, it's red. I'm like, why isn't it making a dot? It was. I was ready. I was drawing red over red and I couldn't see it. Sorry. And then I would went up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, right? But then I do a solid line since it has an equal to right here. And how do I know to shade up? If you put your pencil or your finger on one of the dots you drew, up, of course, would be like going up like this, where down would be going down like this. But since it's greater than, we wanted to shade up, so we wanted to shade this whole side over here. Whee, it's very therapeutic. Who likes to color when they're upset? Yeah, you do. Okay. Okay, now this one, did you see how they flip this around? And this is less than? Less than means you shade down. Still had a solid underneath it, so it's solid. If I put my finger on the dot and put an arrow downward, it tells me to shade this side of the graph. Whee! Make it all nice and pretty. Okay, right? Makes sense or doesn't make sense? Okay, now we're going to do this one together. First of all, is it going to be a solid line or a dotted line? And be dotted. Oop. And it's dotted because there's what? No line under the inequality. I'm going to graph this line like I normally do, but instead of making a solid line, I'm going to like dot it or dash it. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a negative 1 over 2, which means I'm going to go down 1 over 2. So I go down 1, 1, 2. Down 1, 1, 2. Down 1, 1, 2. I could go up 1, 1, 2. Up 1, 1, 2. Do I have them all? Yes. Now I'm going to make a dotted line. I'm going whoop, whoop, whoop. See how I'm just dashing it? And I'm dashing it because there was no line under there. Now I have to decide, am I shading up or am shading down? Remember, greater than or equal to, you shade up. Less than or equal to, you shade down. So which one am I going to shade right here? I'm going to shade up. So that means I'm going to shade this part of the graph. If you want some colored pencils, I have some right in here. Anybody want to use some colored pencils? Okay. Yay. Uh, he's there. Thank you very much, Gemma. Really appreciate it. Okay, over here. Choose the correct inequality from the graph shown. A lot of times on standardized test, I'm talking about ASVAB. One of my students said that he's going to go into the military today. And since he's going into the military, I told him he'll want to score high in the ASVAB because the higher you score, the better jobs you get, which means more pay. And that's usually a multiple choice test like this. So, is this shaded up or shaded down? It no, put your finger on the line and it would be shaded down. So it's shaded down, which means it has to be less than or equal to, because greater than and greater than or equal to are shaded up. So it can't be this one, can't be this one. It has to be one of these two. It's a solid line, right? So is it going to be this first choice or the second choice if it's a solid line? Has to be this choice right here. That's it. Now, where to shade for undefined or no slopes? Because there's no up and down to shade, right here, this would be an undefined slope, right? If you remember from, yeah, Mr. Slope Dude. U stands for undefined, right? Which means straight up and down. Well, if it's straight up and down, there is no up or down. You're either going to shade to the left or to the right. If it is greater than or equal to, I'm going to shade to the right. If it's less than or equal to, you would shade to the left. And this is only for when you have vertical lines. And it says it on this next page too. So see here how this was greater than -2. It's dotted because it's greater than, no line under it. And since it's greater than, I shaded to the right. Shaded this way. If I flipped it around and put an equal to here, this means solid. And because it's facing this direction, I'm shading this side. Because there's not an up or down when it's a vertical line, right? Okay, you try. Is it going to be solid or dotted line? Everybody get it looking like this? And this goes back to this screen over here. If it's greater than or equal to, when it's a vertical line, you're going to shade to the right. If it's less than or less than, you'd shade to the left. Okay. You use the same algebra methods as solving equations, except when you divide both sides by the same negative number. In that case, you have to switch the direction of the inequality symbol. Remember when we talked about beep, 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 beep? We have to flip the sign whenever I divide by by a negative number across an inequality. Let's try one. Oh, I guess they worked it out for us. I'm going to work it out for you over here because even though it's written out, some students always like seeing it worked out. I don't know what. I guess I have a soothing voice or something. I'm not quite sure. Okay, first step to solve for y, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. I get -2y is less than 3x plus 12. I use plus because 12 is positive. I'm going to divide by -2. Whenever you divide across an inequality by a negative, right? This is negative. This is negative. That means this inequality needs to be flipped. Remember that back in the day? So beep, beep, beep. Yep. So then I'd write this as y greater than 3 over 2. Now it had the negative in the denominator. In math, it's kind of a notation thing. You either want it off in front or you pop that negative up in top. You don't keep that negative in the denominator. It's just a math notation. I don't know why. Or in the front. You could write it like this, or you could write it like this in the front or up on top. You just don't keep it in the bottom. And that works. And 12 divided by -2 is -6. Don't drop those negatives. Okay. And look at it, got the same exact answer as they did. Yay, your math teacher knows what they're doing. That's always a good sign. You hope. There's days I make a lot of mistakes. Okay, let's graph this one. First thing I'm going to ask you, is this going to be a solid or dotted line? And how did we know it's dotted? There's no line under it. And am I going to shade up or down? It's greater than, so I shade up. I'm going to graph this just like we graphed earlier today. I'm going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go down 3. Do I have enough to go down 3? 1, 2, 3, just barely. Over 2. 1, 2. I can also go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over -2. I just like doing this. 1, 2, makes it just a little bit more accurate. Okay, and we said dotted, correct? So I wonder if this has a dotted line. Oh, look at that. It does. How cool is that? Oh, that's really nice. I like that. My arrow's on the end. Now I have to shade. And we said we were going to shade up. So I put my finger on one of the dots I made. Up is heading in this direction, right? Because if it was down, that'd be going this way. So I'm going to shade this side. Woo. Woo. Okay, sounds good? Questions? Concerns? Make sense? Okay, y is less than or equal to 4. Is y less than going to be horizontal or vertical? Yeah, this one's horizontal. So is this a solid or dotted line? This one's solid. It's solid because I have a line under it. Am I going to shade up or down? I'm going to shade down. Is it hard to see? Oh, I have a niece who's a lot like that too. Okay, so solid line, and I'm going to go this way. Oh, I forgot I changed the line. That is pretty cool. It does that. Okay, so I'm going to go this way, right? Well, I want it to be right on the line. Are we good with that? Now I'm shading down. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going downward. Okay, at your tables, I want you to do number 4 for me, please. So you're going to have to solve for y first, and then determine if it's going to be solid or dotted, and then shade, either up or down. Solve for y first. Okay, that's what I got. Did everybody else kind of get that one too? Yay, nay? Anybody have any questions on this one? Okay. Oop, I have a question. Where in the world did my pen fall to? Oh, I hate it when it does that. Ah, there it is. I have too many wires. Okay. So we had to solve for y first. Because I divided by -2, I had to make sure I flipped that inequality around. And then after I flipped it, because it's greater than, I had to shade up. I still had the line under it, so it was solid. And that's how you would graph that. Questions? Good. Everybody said yes. Okay, here's one that's point slope. I just threw this on here because our final exam is going to be coming up soon, right? And so this class will probably is going to have, I'll write the date on the board, but it'll be Wednesday of the last week of school is when we'll have our test. So I just wanted to do it. I just want to always do a little quick reminder. um, right here, we still have y. There's no coefficient in front. So I'm just going to choose my point because it's in point slope form. Remember to change your signs on these, right? You could change this to slope intercept form or graph it from here. I'll do it both ways. So if this is a -5 with the x, what do I write over here? Because you have to change the signs. +5. And because this is a -4 over here, what do I write over here for the y? Positive. Remember, you always change the signs of those. Now, the slope is in front of the parenthesis, so m is 2 over 1. So I'm going to go over 5, and I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the point that I pulled out of point slope form. I'm going to use my slope formula, or my slope. I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, over 1, 1, 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1. I could also go down 2 over 1 if I want to get more points on the graph. 1, 2. And is this going to be a solid line or a dotted line? Yep, it's this. It had that extra line, so it'd be solid. Am I going to shade up or shade down? Shade down, because less than always shades down, or equal to means that line's got to be solid. So I'm going to check. It's going to be solid. So I'm going to draw my line. And then I'm going to do my shading. I said down. Now to check, if you get confused on which way's up and which way's down, put your finger on the line and draw an arrow down. And so this is the side I would graph. I mean shade. This is the side. Which means I include all points that are shaded. Every single one that's in the green will work. Anything on this side will not work to make this true. Okay? Okay, let me go ahead and